Welcome back to the channel. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Let me know where y'all from and who you rocking with, and make sure you like this video. They try to tell Finesse2Tymes to calm down after his whole beef with 1090 Jake and everything like that, and he's still getting into it with a lot of people. And it's no surprise that this whole mess happened at this dice game where he let all these people in and everything like that. Like, they're on the road, they're in Arkansas, they're in Louisiana and everything like that. So you got to understand that it's a lot of dudes that's trying to get into Finesse2Tymes circle. They see a lot of money, they see a lot of the jewelry and the motion that's going on, and people want to be a part of it. And some people, they look at it and they see a big lick waiting to happen, man. And that's exactly how these dudes looked at it, man. They ran up on Finesse2Tymes. They tried to break up his whole entire party and everything like that. And this is what led to the situation that basically made him have to go overboard with this, man. They aired out the whole entire that whole entire alleyway right outside that gas station. This is where a lot of people will go to the side, they'll take a carpet out and they'll do the dice game right there, and they'll put money on the ground and everything like that. And every now and then somebody pull up and they basically run everybody's pockets at the dice game because they all crouched down and not paying attention and everything. So a lot of people said that is basically Finesse2Tymes. He must have known the people, like he must have got into it with them, just like how he must have got into it with 1090 Jake and all the other people and everything like that. It seemed like Finesse2Tymes, he just can't catch a break, man, after all of these things and everything that happened at his concert. The dudes that try to take his chain and everything like that, he wasn't playing after that situation. Like, he really showed them that he was actually about it and everything. So now after 1090 Jake basically like exposed him for all the paperwork, the snitching was there, he was going back and forth with him. So it was no telling if the people actually knew 1090 Jake what had happened, because you got to remember that now Finesse2Tymes, he's into it with a whole new group of people and everything. So how do you know that all of these people that's running up, are they there for the dude that's playing in the dice game? Are they there for Finesse2Tymes? Is it a street thing or something like that? Because they said he didn't check in. This is why everything happened, man. And they didn't check in, and these rappers, they'll go to the most dangerous hood and everything like that, link up with everybody, they go to the corner store, shoot a music video and everything like that. But when they were playing the dice game, they forgot the whole time that they forgot to check in. And here come the dudes stomping down the street in Timberlands and everything like that. And they apparently was from the neighborhood and the block that they was on. So they came in to press Finesse2Tymes about why he didn't check in and everything. And in the midst of all that, they basically stuck up the dice game, aired the whole place out, and everybody went scrambling and running. They took, like, everybody ran into the GMC Yukon, the big truck. Finesse2Tymes in their gun, they skirted out and everything like that, and the guys was yelling, like chasing after them through the parking lot, going around the pumps and down the sidewalk. They're like, don't come back here again, Finesse2Tymes, you gotta check in and everything. So you gotta remember that the rappers, they got one of the most dangerous jobs right now and everything. And so basically what happens is that everywhere they go, like cities like LA, Houston, Miami, they have to check in with people, because they technically go to the places that's associated with a lot of street people, and they got to make sure that they, like, if they in town, if they went and told somebody like, hey, I'm over here, like, boom, just want to let you know I just made it to your city, then they'll be able to let people know, like, that's out there sticking up the dice games. They'll be like, hey, don't mess with Finesse2Tymes in there, that's my people, to like make sure that you stay away from them, or don't get them caught up in no situation that y'all doing. And so this is why a lot of people say you don't have to check in with the people that's actually in the streets and everything like that. You could check in with family members, somebody you know that's over there, as long as you telling someone like, hey, like, I'm out here and everything, look after me, tell your people to make sure to, like, to keep an eye or whatever like that, and have their back and everything. So that way, if anything does go down, there has somebody to, as backup, that's from there, and they could de-escalate, defuse the situation with whoever came up to press them. But in Finesse2Tymes' case, he was like, nah, I don't gotta check in, I don't gotta do none of that, man. It ain't like that, you ain't gonna get nothing up out of me. And then that's when the dude basically tried to put Finesse2Tymes in a full Nelson, and his buddy, he went ahead and started grabbing the money off the floor of the dice game. And that's when they took off running. They took off in one direction, and that's when the dude put the warnings in the air. He bow bow bow. Once he put the warning in the air, the whole the whole battle was over with. Everybody scrammed and ran. Dudes jumped the fence, they kept going down the street and everything like that. And so the footage they were like reviewing and recovering and everything like that. They trying to get everybody to basically figure out who's the dudes that came up and all that. They still looking for him, but it's a good thing that like nothing happened to nobody serious. And so they ran off with the bread. They tried, the dude that had Finesse2Tymes in the full Nelson, he could have went for the chain, but he didn't get the chain. The pendant almost snapped. The lock was about to come off. It had like one clasp left that was almost undone, and then it would have been gone forever, man, and passed around through that whole entire South and all the hoods, and everybody would be doing videos with it on Instagram talking about come buy it back, come get it back, and this and that, and they would be flexing and basically like showing Finesse2Tymes that they did, like they got it from him, and they were rubbing it in his face and everything. So he couldn't let that happen, so he had to keep his chain. He had to make sure that they don't get him or have to like do nothing like that. He didn't think they were gonna come and press him, but at the same time he basically talked to him like they wasn't gonna do nothing, and so they had something to prove. They pulled up, and literally like all the Finesse2Tymes homies, they were standing there and watching, and a couple of the security dudes, they came up to confront them, but everything happened so fast. Once the dude snatched the money up off the dice game, he left nothing. Only thing he left on the ground was the dice itself. He took all the bread, and once he ran off, that's when they started running after him. But then the other guy, he pulled out the stick, and then that's when everybody scram and scatter. You could see it in the footage where they all running. Like one dude came by and he was in the store and he recorded and everything like that, but then once we seen it on the story, he already deleted it right now because that's snitching. Technically that's telling. And so like now they're not gonna find the dudes because nobody's probably gonna tell. You know how it goes. And so essentially everybody got a lesson to learn from this. Finesse2Tymes and them gotta move smooth and everything. They can't be just outside in the middle of a random hood, not knowing anybody that's there, didn't check in or nothing like that, and they're over here putting a lot of money, thousands on the ground and everything. They have their chains. They have to be more careful because you never know who's actually like watching and everything. And they basically got ran up on. Like they got caught lacking. They didn't really notice the guys was there until they tapped them on the shoulder. They tapped them over the right shoulder. But then when Finesse2Tymes looked over his shoulder, the dude was standing on the left side, so he hit him with that old trick. If somebody does that to you, that means they caught you lacking, off guard and everything. Like they already let them get so close to where they were at the dice game that they literally was in an arm's reach to be able to grab the money on the ground and everything. And so now looking back at it, Finesse2Tymes and them, they went and still did the show that night, and nobody talked about nothing. And so at the end of the day, he's probably gonna come out and respond and everything. They try to, like, once they did all that, they were looking for him because they were trying to figure out the who let off the rounds and everything. And so once they seen it was Finesse2Tymes car that left the area, that's when they went looking for him. They stopped maybe like 30 minutes later, they stopped him quick. Once they stopped him, they were like, oh yeah, this the dude from the description and everything. They said it was the big dude that was in the full Nelson. Like that was that guy. It was Finesse2Tymes that they was talking about. So that's when they cuffed him right then and there, brought him into the precinct and everything. They started asking him all these questions, 21 questions and everything like that. He tried to stay solid and everything. So then his road manager came in, bonded him out quick because they got a show. They had an appearance to make at the club 11:30 p.m. and everything, midnight. So they come in late to that, still do that. They had to go get the back end. One thing about Finesse2Tymes, if you really know, is that he has to go and get the back end. So essentially they couldn't waste no time. As soon as he got booked in for that little squabble that happened over there at the dice game, then they had to quickly go bond him out, whatever amount it was 10%. So they got him out quick and brought him to the show so he could get that back end money, because this is like what they came there for and everything. So they could have avoided all of that if they would have actually been with people that they like, that knew that area a lot better. They got to be able to connect with a lot more people so that they don't have no issues, especially when they in them small towns, them small hoods, and you never know who's hungry and who's watching just right around the corner. They might pop up on y'all quick, just like how they did right there. And the situation could have been worse, but ultimately everybody was able to get back home and everything. Finesse2Tymes did his show, so this is like a big break that they caught, man. They basically now they moving very careful and everything. Everybody watching their back and looking over their shoulder. So now we gonna get the update and see if Finesse2Tymes responds. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man, and I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.